Welcome to the Spectrum of Health podcast. My name's Jav, and today, guys, we got a very, very special episode. It is the top 3 nutrition tips for former athletes to stay in shape. And this is going to be really, really important. I'm going to keep this one nice and short, maybe below 10 minutes. So it's only a quick snapshot for your ears to get you going and tell you exactly what you need to do. Before we get into that, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I don't think you understand. All of that really helps, especially if you subscribe, because then you get a notification when the next episode is out. So if you're on Spotify, Apple, please subscribe, give me a rating. You don't understand how much it helps. And lastly, if you like the content and you want to see more content, why not buy me a coffee? All donations count, all donations help. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's really talk about this, because this is something that's important to me as a former athlete and as someone who works with former athletes and as someone who works with people who have at least been very active in their lives at some point. Nutrition is really going to be the key for us. But when you're an athlete and you play sports all the time, you probably never tracked a calorie in your life. You didn't need to. And why did you not need to? Well, the fat used to just fly off you. The weight used to stay off all the time because you were so active. Imagine training 12 to 16 hours a week, 2-hour days, 3-hour days. Okay, you're not going to put on body fat if you're training that much. So I could eat McDonald's every day and I promise you I would not put on fat because I'm training so much. But guess what happens? At one point, you do retire. And when you do retire, whether you graduate from college or you play professional sports like many of my friends in the UK or my other friends in the States who play college sports and they retire like 24, 25 or whatever, those activities are gone. You're not training anymore, especially not at that intensity, but you're probably still eating a lot of calories. You're probably still eating the same. So guess what happens when that takes place? You gain a lot of weight. I've seen some former athletes looking at like 30, 40 pounds overweight, and it can be quite destructive for them. So we need to really look at some nutritional ways we can manage this and still have an athletic physique that we're happy with and that we're proud of. That's really what it comes down to. Being proud of the physique that you have is really the key. So that kind of goes to my first point there, and that is, well, to be honest, you can't eat everything you want anymore. And that is just a reality. You can no longer eat all the food that you want. Those days are over. You now have to start taking control of your nutrition and being a lot more mindful with your decision making and being smarter. I know that's hard. I know that's painful for many of us, but you cannot be eating McDonald's, eating chocolate, eating cookies all the time when you're not as active as you used to be. So that's the first mindset shift you have to make. And one of the best things you can probably do to allow you to achieve a better result with this is to simply track your calories for 4 weeks. Now, until I stopped playing sports, I never tracked my calories, but I did it for like 6 weeks one time. And I was like, this is mad. This is absolute madness. I'm eating a lot of food here. I didn't know this, but I realized it after. So if you've never tracked food, it's so easy. I'm not going to tell you how exactly to do it, but a lot of people get it wrong. They track incorrectly. Sorry, but there's not a lot of human beings that can defy thermodynamics. So when people say they're tracking their food, but they're not losing weight, they're not tracking correctly. Okay, you are not special. You're just not tracking accurately. So I need to track accurately for 4 weeks so we can see exactly what's happening. And this is especially important if you've never done it before. And you don't have to track forever. People are going to talk about eating disorders and stuff like that. It's a very small percentage of the population that actually develop eating disorders from tracking calories. So that's not everybody's story. And I hate how that's always pumped as a narrative as why people shouldn't track calories, because not everybody goes through that. So let's just be realistic with people and actually explain to them that tracking calories can be an educational process. It's not to keep you boxed in and only allowed to eat this amount of food. No, it's an educational process so you can actually understand how X amount of food can cause X amount on your body or excess amount of body fat on your body. It's just simple things. So that's the point number 1. So number 2, for my former athletes, this is quite a simple one. Probably thinking this is so basic, but you want to try and limit your fast food to 1 to 2 times per week. I can almost guarantee that that's going to make a big difference when it comes to getting in shape. When I was an athlete, especially when I went to the States, I was eating fast food maybe 4 times a week, but I was training so much, it didn't really matter to me. Sometimes it would be like, we'd be traveling, we'd stop off somewhere at like a petrol station, and at the petrol station, they had like McDonald's, KFC, Wendy's and all that. When you're traveling on the bus for all those hours, having that bit of food ain't gonna kill you. Have a bit of Chipotle, have some Popeyes. That stuff is not too bad, especially when you're training that much. However, upon retiring, you cannot be eating fast food 4 or 5 times a week anymore. Unfortunately, it's just gonna show up on your body as excess fat. Unless you're matching the amount of intensity you was doing when you was an athlete, which we don't need to anymore. So limiting it to 1 to 2 times per week is going to be the best thing you can do. And on top of that, I know some of you guys are going to hate me when I say this, but alcohol once a week. Just live by that rule. And I promise you, your body fat will stay nice and low. Because what happens when you drink alcohol? Alcohol is a toxin. So your body actually stops burning calories from carbs and fats. It stops burning glucose. It tries to get rid of those toxins straight away. Why do you think you see so many guys with bare bellies? right? They get bear bellies because their body starts storing all the fat and it's just trying to burn off those toxins and obviously the excess calories and all that stuff. So if you're brave enough and you don't feel influenced by society to drink every day, try to limit your alcohol to once a week. And then on top of that, if we want to go one layer deeper, is make better alcoholic choices. Probably don't have all that beer anymore. Maybe just stick to a shot of whiskey with a diet soda. Maybe have one of those cocktails that has low calories in it. It's just being smarter with your decision making that can allow you to be fit forever rather than fit for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Okay. The last point, which is kind of basic, I kind of touched on it in the first point, is basically you probably don't need as much food as you used to. So you need to actually work out what your activity levels are right now. I can tell you when I was playing football every day, I was quite comfortably burning over 1,500 calories a day. Sometimes we're doing double sessions. So I'm looking at 2,000 calories on my Apple Watch. Like, it was crazy. Plus I was living in Atlanta, which is hot as hell compared to where I'm from, which is London, which is cold. So I was in Atlanta, training 2 times a day sometimes, traveling. I used to walk a lot because I lived on campus and easily doing 15 to 20K steps per day. Like, my activity levels were through the roof. Now, I barely burn 1,000 calories according to my watch per day. Don't forget, these watches are not completely accurate. I barely burn 1,000 calories. I get 800 a day, roughly. That's my kind of baseline. Some days when I do like a Muay Thai session and a gym session, I'll do way over that. But your activity levels are going to change, right? So as a former athlete, you got to get your ass in the gym and be training at least 3 times a week. I would be aiming for 4 to 5. If you've been an athlete, you can easily bang out 5 sessions. But the difference is you don't need to be going as hard as you used to. And that's one part you need to accept. Minimal effort is enough. When I say minimal, let's say when you was working out as an athlete, you gave 100% effort. If you gave 60% of that effort to just going to the gym and doing a basic workout 4 times a week, you could still be in great shape. So honestly, those 3 things are all you need to do. Track your food for 4 weeks so you understand your calories. Limit fast food, so 1 to 2 times per week. Same with alcohol, once a week, and make better alcoholic choices. And the third thing is obviously get back in the gym because you don't need as much food as you used to. You need to match your activity. Okay, so very basic. If you want to put all of those things together for free, all you need to do is hit the link in the description. I have a free fat loss video course. It's a 3-part video course. It has on training, it has a training on nutrition and mindset, and it comes with a free workout guide and a free recipe pack. If I was you, I'll be taking advantage of that because it's absolutely free and I love giving away free stuff. On top of that, if you want to buy me a coffee, please buy me a coffee. Nowadays, we don't see much people in real life because everything's virtual, but if you want to take me on a coffee date, just hit the link in the description and donate a coffee. I'd really appreciate it. And lastly, if you haven't liked, if you haven't shared, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, I'm not happy with you. Okay. So if you can, just please give a little rating on Spotify or Apple or Google or Amazon, whatever you're listening on this to. Apart from that, thank you for listening. Spectrum of Health podcast. My name's Jav. Peace.